Hi everyone, good evening, and welcome again to this second session of the Foundations course 2022. And welcome also to the new people in case you didn't come or weren't able to make it last time. Welcome also today. It's really great to have you all here, and thanks again for taking the time also to invest into yourself, your spirituality and relationship with God, and to share this time with other people as well. Just a small note here in the beginning, if you could rename yourself, please, with your team number in front. If you're unsure what your team number is, if you weren't here last time or you don't remember, you can write that in the chat and we're going to look you up. And also it would be really great to see you as well and to see your beautiful faces. So if you can please turn on your camera. And we're just going to go first through today's schedule very briefly. So we're going to start with a team meeting. We're going to try to factor in a little bit more sharing time as well. We're going to be having 4 talks today. Last time we focused on God, on the topic of God, and today there is a focus on true parents. We're going to have 4 different speakers speak today, as well as ample time for questions and answers in between, and also, again, time for more sharing in the end. Okay, so we're going to start by breaking out into teams, and we're going to have a short team 10-minute team check-in session. You can share about your homework, which was related to God. The homework deadline was next Friday, so don't worry if you haven't done it yet, that's fine. If you have thought about it, if you have done it, you can already share about it. Otherwise, you can also talk about how God was part of my life since last session. So have a good time in your team meetings, and remember again to rename yourself with your team number in the front for those of you who haven't done that yet. Team meeting of today. We're going to go straight to the first of 4 speakers tonight. We're going to have Uncle Armando Lozano Hernandez. He is the president of UPF in Spain and has been active in various capacities in our movement over the years, including 15 years as national leader. Also, again, we're going to have a question and answers function. So please write any questions or comments as well, questions, answers, or comments. So anything that you have, please feel free to write those into the chat, addressing them to the questions and comments person. So thank you very much to Armando, and let's welcome him up.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me to this talk. It's a bit challenging to adapt myself to the 15 minutes. I will do my best. I was asked to talk about true parents as my parents. Okay, so I think our relationship with true parents, it's based very much on our individual quest. But in a sense, if we reflect on your situation, many members and members to come situation, it's going to be very similar to the relationship that Jesus and Christians have, in the sense that most Christians have never met Jesus physically. They never lived in the time of Jesus, but still they have to develop, and they develop a very deep and profound love for Jesus. We have to kind of reflect on that, how that is possible, how they can relate to somebody who died 2,000 years ago and feel his presence around them. Same thing can be done as actually with God himself, herself. We never met God, let's say, physically, but still we can have his presence, her presence around us. It depends on us, depends on our heart, our desire. Desire is a key quest. I mean, it cannot come to us without a strong desire, without a strong search for it. And why, as I develop this little talk, why we are going to have this desire? Because in a sense is what will bring our life, let's say, from an average life, you know, with beliefs and so on, to a life of excellence, of, you know, of really something precious, something beautiful that you can talk to others. Okay, myself, so that you understand, I joined the unification community through spiritual experiences, and that is a little bit different because I never joined through a 2 days, 7 days, 21 days workshop. I didn't go to any workshop, and basically when I was 16, before, but especially at 16, I developed something called automatic writing. I start in the midnight or in the middle of the night, start writing on a paper things that I could not understand. One of the things is that I was going to meet one Oriental man, that it will change my life and I will never have to question that man when I meet him. When I met the community in Barcelona when I was 19 years old, then of course, that experience came back, and somehow I realized that was the man with Oriental eyes that I'm not supposed to criticize, or I'm not supposed to argue. I think I was the most easy spiritual child that probably anybody can have, because I was not supposed to say a word, just accept anything. That was a quite incredible thing. And actually, two months later, I don't have the time, 2 months later, I was asked not to come again to the community. I was so spiritually open that they were afraid that I will become, you know, a strange person. And therefore, they asked me not to come. So I stayed in that situation for 3 years. For 3 years, I did witnessing, fundraising, and everything by myself. I studied the principle. I learned how to lecture. I did everything by myself. They never considered that. They never considered me a member of the church, actually. I consider myself a member of the community. So that's why in that process, I developed a lot of, and that's a source of incredible inspiration, many dreams, many spiritual experiences, very deep, profound, where true parents were really acting as my parents in a very personal, like, you know, even though, you know, people may not understand you and this and this and that, but we are here with you. So that was on a kind of a spiritual level, and that is something that we can have. All of us, we can have. That's a connection, a very deep, profound. In a sense, is deeper than a physical connection. You may see true parents, you may see true mother, but if you don't have that kind of a spiritual awareness, you will not have a sense of their value in the providential time. You will not have the eyes to see. Somehow you will only see a person, great person, but a person. So you need that kind of spiritual approach. I don't mean to become a spiritual, a strange spiritual person. No, not that. How it works is that, to me, it was very deep when I read that Father said, how many times have you cried in the middle of the night, longing for somebody, you know, wanting to embrace a person, and that person was away. That kind of phrase struck in me in a sense that I realized if I want to be close to true parents, I have to be a messenger of Heavenly Father to people. I mean, I cannot just stop God's love in me. Cannot be a thief of love. I cannot just, I want to receive love. I want to be, you know, this, no. On the contrary, I always prayed, please don't give me spiritual experiences. Don't give to me those dreams. Give to the guests I have, to the people I love. Give them the dreams. Give them the spiritual experiences. That was my prayer. Somehow, invest in those people rather than just stopping the chain of love in me. The stronger, the more I love people, and being betrayed and try again and being, the more I tried that, the more I felt God was with me and the more experiences I had with true parents. Okay, since I have to say something concrete quickly about my experiences with father and mother, and one of the changing experiences, I think, is, since I had such a desire to meet father, always this deep desire, when I lived in New York or later on as a leader, I mean, I rushed to be in the front, I wanted to be on the front. I wanted to be, as close as possible, this kind of strong desire. So one time in Korea, somehow I made a mistake. And by the time I went to the big hall, a 4,000 or 5,000 people hall up in Korea, when I was beginning of my leadership, the room was full, and I was so frustrated to see father so far away. And I thought, oh man, how is it possible? And I was feeling terrible. And then when the speech was over, a little bird, my little bird that always comes, a little bird in my mind says, Armando, get out of the building. And I thought, well, yes, let me get out of the building. Armando, go to that door. I go to that door. I go to that gate of the building. Sutekni, yeah, in Korea. So I went there, and there was nothing there, just a car. A black car there, kind of a, an elegant car, but just me and the car. And I thought, this sounds stupid, but it's like, just wait. And then I waited. Then a few other people came to the yard and, the courtyard, and start coming, like 5, 6 people. And suddenly something was moving, a turmoil there, and then security came, and father came right after. And oh wow, I was just in front of the entrance, the door of the car, and then father came, and I just bowed, and I thought, wow, I made it, I made it. I'm in front of father, and I thought that was it. For me, I was satisfied. It was, I look at him and I was satisfied. But then instead of going inside the car, he turned around, and then he came, he just gave a couple of steps to me and then pointed at me and said, work hard, handsome boy, work hard, and went into the car. And then I thought, instead of saying, I love you, baby, or something like, oh, you are you are the apple of my life, something cheesy. He just said to me, you should work hard. That was a transforming experience for me, because I realized that, you want to be close to father, work as father, work, try to be a second Reverend Moon, do as much. Well, as much is difficult, but have the same heart, the same attitude, because then when you go through persecution or you go through misunderstanding from people in the world, but also from our movement, you can go through a lot of misunderstanding too. Then you go through many things, and then you realize, wow, work hard, persevere, be persistent until the end. And then somehow I realized father was there. Second, a little experience for me, very also transforming, is True Parents in Pantanal, 1999, in this workshop for families. We had to go up the Paraguay River to Americana Hotel. I thought Americana Hotel sounds like Humphrey Bogart and something really extravagant. When this choo-choo kind of thing went like, you know, for hours without end to this Americana Hotel, it was just few shacks, you know, on wood poles, so that, you know, when the river goes up. And then I thought, oh, what a place, you know. But Father then decided to give a talk, and it was so beautiful. It was like the Sermon of the Mount, because in front of one of those shacks, Father got a car, you know, a box, a wood box. He sat in a very humble way, and he asked everybody to sit down. We were about 100 people, Europeans mostly. And then Father just sat in front of us and started talking about, you know, why you cannot leave Europe. You know, in Europe, everything is domesticated. The landscapes are not anymore natural. They are just, you know, made by men. But here, look at so beautiful. Oh, I was thinking, oh, it's beautiful, Father, but actually I'm getting, you know, crucified by all the mosquitoes around. And you know, it was so beautiful. Few hours, there was this sunset going down, everybody on the floor. And I realized he was a father for us, a father. He really wanted to, you know, be so close. I was in the front row, like as usual, you know, and trying to feel close. But then what touches me is not that. After having a very beautiful speech, like beautiful setting, like romantic and different setting, you know, then Father asked, please, let's have a picture. Already nighttime came. Let's have a picture on the stairs of these shacks, one of the shacks. And then after the picture was taken, we went to the boat. And it was a moment that, you know, I normally cry a lot. Seeing father or mother means cry. For me, it's automatic. It's like, I don't need to force it. So, but when I went into this boat and this choo-choo back, and then father and mother standing alone by the, you know, in the little quay, you know, I don't know how you say in English, you know, like a little kind of things to you know, tie the boats. They were just standing there and saying, you know, with the hands, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye. You know, it was so tender, because I thought they were going to do it just, you know, just for 1 minute or 30 seconds, just bye bye, bye bye, and leave. But not, it was bye bye, bye bye, until the boat was so distant, and still they were there, the two of them, saying bye bye. It was heartbreaking, because I realized that we were connected. We were connected by heart. Yeah, we were one in some way. They love us as children, and we love them as parents. And actually, the struggle here for both sides is for us to feel they are our parents, and for us to behave as children, because I saw this many times in kind of a small, and with this I finish, in a small kind of settings, that people will be so you know, like so difficult to relate with them, you know, not knowing how to, you know, how to express, how to offer them a coffee, or, well, offer a tea because father doesn't drink coffee, but offer them something that that then it was distance. It was created the distance because we felt they were so high and so incredible and so different that we created the distance, a artistic distance. And they are very sensitive, extremely sensitive. And then automatically they feel the distance. And it's a pity that they have to do things to break the distance, suddenly to knock on your head or to do something or to provoke a situation so that you realize that more than just, you know, believing in them as the Messiah, that's the beginning point. They are my parents and they are, you know, we are their children. And we have to be in this sense, if we develop this artistic connection, then everything flows in a very beautiful way. So I have many things here, but 15 minutes is what it is, 15 minutes.
Thank you, Uncle Armando. You did really well with your 15 minutes. Okay, well, thank you so much. And we're going to continue on our topic of true parents. And again, if you have any questions and answers either to Uncle Armando or our next speaker, please write them down to the question and comments chat person. Okay, so next up, we're going to have JeongHye Hassinen from Korea, but who has been active and living in Europe for many years. She's the Vice President of International YSB in Europe and the Middle East. So please welcome her up.
Hello, everyone. It's really nice to see you all. Yeah, let me share my screen. I prepared some pictures. Yeah, can you see? Yeah, Uncle Armando was sharing really artistic experience with her parents. And yeah, I also want to focus on couple of episodes that when I met through mother, because I didn't have so many meeting or the experience with true father, but with true mother I had couple of meetings and also several experiences. So I hope that you can connect. I was reflecting myself. What is the reason? Because I was also not from the beginning that I can feel true parents as my parents. And I was reflecting what is the reason that I'm feeling really connected to my own physical parents. And then, many reasons that, we were all from the beginning, our parents were always together sharing and have many memories. And whenever we come back to home or challenges that we share, and then they were embracing us. And I realized that one of the key was that I feel as a child so much love from my parents. So I just reflected. Now I think when I think about true parents, seems like so far away physically, and sometimes it's difficult to feel as my own parents. But if we open our heart, and then if we are really as a child of true parents that really connecting and then receiving so much love and they feel like it, then in the end that really we can connect. And now I feel like when I think about true parents, I'm missing them, and I feel a bit like warming. My heartbeat is a bit faster, not because of nervous, but because of warming up, just thinking of them and missing, and also like just reminded about some experience that I had. One of the experience that I wanted to share was back to 2014. After true father passed away, true mother went to Hawaii for Jeongseong, and she organized a meeting for the younger the young people, including true grandchild. It was the Aloha Hawaii workshop. I think some of European people also went there. And as a UPA program, we went there to support True Mother. Some of us was staff member for this workshop. The other people were just doing 정성 together with True Mother. And one day, True Mother invited us to the Hundokhae early morning. Yeah, and yeah, we went there. And what True Mother shared to us was like grandmother, like, it's hard, right? It's not easy, right? Yes, yes, we said. And this is really important time. Please learn about God and true parents and really grow the person that you can comfort, Heavenly Parent heart. And that was really hitting my heart. This was not the first meeting with True Mother, but I felt that if you know about that time, after True Father JeongHye, True Mother was feeling so weak and difficult and health was not so good. But she was determined to make 정성, to go to Hawaii and different places to encourage people, the members and people. And she's comforting my heart instead of receiving our energy. So I feel like so sorry, but also I felt that, yeah, this what grandmother usually would do to the children. And then after that, she saw our clothes. If you see the picture, Hawaii is really hot in the summertime, but we were wearing like long trousers and black and like two inside, and there's so much. And she was thinking, let me go to shopping with you guys. And then she invited to us shopping mall. And well, she wanted to buy some clothes and some summer shoes instead of the running shoes or, you know, the sports shoes, which it cannot air through. So one by one, she was sitting in the shopping mall, and then Sunjinim was kind of helping us to find the clothes. I didn't know what to choose, what to do. But then Sunjinim was choosing one clothes for me, just next to me, was short trouser, like over the knees. And I felt that, oh, this is maybe not okay, because of True Father used to say that don't show your skin so much, you know. I just felt that even though, yeah, summertime, we try not to wear so much short, but then it's okay. Yeah, it's so hot. And then like, please go to show True Mother, please go. And then like, she was trying to push me. And anyway, I went in front of the True Mother, and True Mother, could you show like it's okay like this? And then she said, please turn around. And then I was like turned around in front of her, and then she said, good. Oh, it looks cool, like because of so hot. And I was really relieved. And actually, that was the first time that kind of making conversation with her. Usually it's not possible for us. So much precious time. But I felt like until now, I felt the True Mother is Messiah and so far away that I cannot talk. And she's so strict for me, like somehow how to approach her. But then it was like no thinking, just grandma that you wanted to, you know, okay, then I was so happy to. So this is what True Mother said, it's okay. And then I was saying to many people about this. But yeah, that was the one of the beginning part that I feel like no barrier after a long time meeting with True Mother. But the second episode was a bit more serious. That was the clothes. I'm not wearing the trouser, but the next to me one cadet, he is wearing the short the short trouser. That's what she bought for the men, and for me was more the khaki color, the green color. yeah, anyway, so yeah. And the second episode was 2018. She was inviting all the YSP leaders to Cheonjeonggung, the palace. And at the time, yeah, we went to early morning there. 8 people were together. And yeah, I was quite nervous because I was only one female. Everyone else was the male. And yeah, at the time I had difficult time because IAYSP started in Europe as a beginning, 2018, needed to pioneer what to do. I don't have such confidence and struggling so much about my language and my skills. How come True Mother was giving this mission to me, because I can't do, I don't have enough how to say, the ability and so on, so on. But then on that day, I went together with the men and we were sharing something. True Mother was saying that, yeah, now is really chaos in the world and confused. People are really confused. And this time is really, we need the true parents. So she was saying that by YSP, we can really encouraging people to go to right way. And yeah, she was giving similar words that she used to give to other people. But I felt that True Mother is the person, her character is more like acting than just wording. So I felt that where True Mother was trying to give teas in front of, you can see the table teas and some sweets, and try to encourage us mainly. And then she was asking to sing in the morning. I chose really serious song to True Mother, like I will give my life to the altar, use it for the Lord's glory, and so on, so on. But this serious song, my voice was of normal tune, you know, the out of tune suddenly, and then like, oh, what to do in front of True Mother. But then, yeah, she was feeling so much connected about what I heard, what my heart was. So anyway, I wanted to share this kind of close the episode, because many of us, actually, we cannot meet True Mother so much in person. But by this, maybe you can see her character. She is really smiling for young people, always asking what's going on about the youth and so on. So I feel this is not just we receive this present, that True Mother is giving us some present, like some handbag and necktie, but I think this is so much responsibility. I feel like we really need to share these blessings to all people, the youth, that we can feel together receiving so much blessings to True Mother. And the last, I want to share one thing, that at this time, 2018, my mother also passed away. And I was reflecting that True Father passed away, and 4 of her children passed away. As a mother, how she feels, like normal people cannot endure so much like this. But she was smiling in front of people and encouraging them, and try to really go forward. She was holding back her feeling, maybe bitterness or the difficult feeling, but really striving forward and encouraging people. And I felt like I want to be next to her when she's the most difficult time. So just, yeah, that determination and the experience together combined really strong desire to support and then not shaking, even though difficult moment. So I just wanted to share to you all that it's hard from the beginning that two parents are my parents to feel, but always the chance and opportunities coming to you. And when you receive some responsibility or you take some ownership to do something, then that much more than that you can receive the blessings to parents and God. So yeah, just open your heart, and even though spiritually or physically, try to really meet through parents and try to have opportunity to have chance to take the chance to meet through prayer or through in person. Now still True Mother is on earth. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Yeah, that we can see True Mother like our parents and our grandma. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, JeongHye, for this personal testimony. So next is time for question and answer before we move on to the next speakers. So if you still have any questions or comments, please write them again in the chat. So these are for both JeongHye and Armando. So the first question we have is for Uncle Armando. You've had a lot of spiritual experiences with two parents. What can we do to work on our spiritual relationship with two parents?
That's difficult. Basically, it's a heart-to-heart desire. It's a heart-to-heart connection. My feeling, the more you love people, the more God will love you. It's proportionally connected. The more you love people, the more you will love through parents. In the sense that they will come out from the pedestal, they will come out from their position and then realize what they went through and how much they sacrificed to love people, to save people, even one person, to invest in even one person, how much. So I think spiritual experiences will go, or spiritual gift will go into that. It is true that some people, they may not need so much spiritual support. I reflected very much on this in my life, you see, because they have, let's say, they have the support of the principal. They feel the principal is already can explain everything. They act in a very rational way. They always want to rationalize everything. And of course, it's difficult to go to a more artistic connection if you are only based on your rational mind. That's very difficult. You cannot approach this kind of a spiritual dimension with rational mind. No. It's not that you don't, it's not denying that. It's just that there is more parts of your mind. How to put it in a simple way? For example, when Father gave a talk in Alaska, we sat on the beach. There were many stones in the beach, and then I grabbed a stone because I wanted to have that stone as a reminder, so that I will always remember Father that day with this stone. You understand? Not a rational mind. When Father came to Camberg from Moscow, Father was suddenly took a flower and started making some things in the speech with the flower, and then I thought, that flower is mine. After Father finished the talk, quickly I went to grab father's flower, and then I put it in a book and I have it to, it's hard. And you open yourself to miracles to happen. I can tell you many of those to happen. So I will relax a little bit your rational mind. Surrender yourself in front of God. Surrender, like, I'm here to serve you. I'm yours. Let me be a channel for you. And then somehow God will give you what you need. If you need that experience for you to have an extra, let's say, power, then we'll give you that experience, yes. Believe me, you can have I had very deep experiences with Jesus, never meeting Jesus. Yeah. So the fact of meeting somebody physically doesn't mean you are in the same vibration. You can feel the same vibration. You don't have it. So rather than getting frustrated, why I cannot this, why I cannot do that, concentrate on what you can do. What you can do. And what you can do is to put yourself in the hands of God, to do something for others, to love one person a day, to express God's love to one person a day. If you can do that, then miracles come to you.
Thank you, Uncle Armando. The next question is for JeongHye. You mentioned a few different experiences with True Mother. Is there one piece of advice that stuck out to you that you could share with us?
From True Mother?
Yes.
Yeah, I think True Mother was when we were in the Cheongpyeong, the Cheonwon ground. She suddenly came to down that we are educated, and yeah, she said that even though it's not easy, please continue to overcome, because for true parents and for God, you are the one who God wants to rely. So that's that I felt that this advice, kind of advice for me, because I felt that makes me also really stable to overcome the difficulties that sometimes we feel many more people is here who can support, and that's better than myself. You can think about it, but when I think about for God, me is the only one that we can really support in this situation. Then I can have more confidence that I need to do and not giving up. For me, was really strong about this advice. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Maybe you could, okay, next question is for Uncle Armando. So you shared about True Father. Do you have any experiences with True Mother as well? If you could just keep it to a couple of minutes, please. I'm sure you have a lot to say.
No, not that many, because of course, Mother was in those years was more, behind. But I remember in Barcelona, when they came for, the True Children came for the Olympics in 1992. Yes. And then I was asked to be like a tour guide for True Mother in the group. So we went to a beautiful scenery of beautiful mountains, very holy mountains near Barcelona called Montserrat. One thing I discovered by sharing with mother is that she loves the spiritual experiences. I mean, we went through the church, and as we went to a picture, a beautiful picture, where there was Saint Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, and how he had, an experience so that changed his life and so on. He was more interested in the story that I was telling her of how this important person of Catholicism, that is the founder of the Jesuits, how he was transformed from a soldier to, a servant of God and Jesus and so on through beautiful experiences. And then I realized, so you like that. So instead of going into architectural explanations and all kinds of things, boring artistic stuff, I start explaining more, cute little things, more deep things. And I remember, and with this I finish, that, to go to the top of the mountain, there is a ferry car, something that goes to the top. And I don't know what happened. I really don't know. To this day, I don't know. I was not national leader at that time. And there were so many people surrounding Mother and, European leaders that came and this and that. And I was, just there doing, the artistic parrot, just talking. And then suddenly we went into this ferry car going up to the mountain. And I thought everybody else was in a different, wagons, in the different parts of the train. I don't know what happened to this day. When we arrived to the top of the mountain, there was nobody. Everybody was left in the bottom. And I was there with True Mother alone. And then, Hyunjanin and his wife, Eunjanin, and the husband and so on. And I thought, oh man, I'm alone. Then where are the other people? And then I realized, relax, you are with your mother. And then I thought, well, years of working in restaurants and bars is going to work. So I started saying to her, okay, Mother, what would you like to drink? And this and this and that, to start, talking to them in a normal, because there was nothing else to do. There was nobody except me to be with them until the rest of the people. And one thing that amazed me with Mother and Eunjanin is that they start seeing these rocks, these boulders, huge boulders, granite rocks, in connecting everything with Father, and saying, oh, look at that boulder. Doesn't it look like Father? The face, it looks like Father's face. And it was very interesting. I realized that basically she was totally in love and totally connected artistically, and asking, did Father come here? Her mind was in Father, with Father.
Thank
and
you.
That was
Uncle
very
Armando.
beautiful. Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much to both of you. There would have been some more questions, but unfortunately we have to move on. So thank you so much to both of you for sharing your personal experiences. Next, we're going to move on and still going to be talking about your parents, and we're going to be hearing the experiences of Vicky Ben Zvi, who has been very instrumental also in organizing these sessions as well. She's the General Affairs or Secretary of Hyojong Youth Academy from Czechia originally. So let's welcome her up.
Good evening, everyone. Hi. Thank you, Sonia, for introducing me. And so I'm Vicky. I'm originally from Czech Republic. My father is Czech, my mom is French, but I currently live in Israel. So my husband is from Israel. So we live in Jerusalem, in the Holy Land. We'll be sharing a little bit about my testimony and how, especially how I could connect to true parents, not necessarily, seeing them as often as maybe our other speakers had more experience, but I just want to share a little bit of my experience here. So I will have some pictures as well, and you will see my story will a little bit connect to JeongHye's story, but no spoilers. So basically, I grew up in Czech Republic. So basically, my parents were both city leaders for a long time in Prague, in the capital city, and then they were also national leaders. So anyway, I grew up with basically having the community and being close to the Providence basically most of my life. However, I always felt true parents were really my parents, thanks to my actual parents. So if I break it down, my parents, they both joined the movement in America, and they were both in CARP and doing mission there for about 10 years. So they have also plenty of experiences with true parents. And even though they weren't sharing it with me, what they were doing, they were kind of just, they didn't share so much. I felt their heart was very, very connected to true parents, and they always really considered true parents like their parents. So since I'm very young, I don't know if some of you remember, but now we received these Hyojong news from Korea, with the recording, and then there's all these pictures, and anyway, the last updates about the Providence in video, but in the past it was out of this catalog. I don't know if some of you remember. And every month we would receive this catalog. And I remember even as a child being 8 years old, 7 years old, I was always very excited every month, just because my mom was very excited about receiving this catalog and hearing what true mother is doing, what is true father doing, what are true parents, doing right now. She really wanted to know, like a little child all the time, what are true parents doing? So I really felt, thanks to that love for my parents, I could really feel close to true parents like that. And then on the other hand, my father had a really deep connection with true parents in a really different way. So my dad really loves to collect pictures, not just official pictures of true parents, but especially the ones where you see true parents in McDonald's, or true parents in Switzerland in the mountains, or, true parents with hoodies, or these kind of funny pictures. And he has a whole collection of it. And every time his computer would kind of doze off, you would just see all the pictures lighting. And anyway, so I really grew up in this kind of household, not necessarily talking about true parents or their experiences, but I could really feel my parents love true parents, like if they were their actual children. So, but anyway, even though I grew up in this kind of household, still that didn't mean that my relationship with true parents will be the same as my parents, right? It's really something that we need to build. And especially, I want to share one experience, a really deep experience I had, where for the first time I felt, oh wow, this life of faith, I really need to work on it and kind of put my input into it. And that's, if I could share my screen, that would be great. And then I can share a picture, and you will see it will connect to JeongHye's story. So in 2014, JeongHye was sharing about the Aloha Reunion workshop in Hawaii, right? So JeongHye was one of the helpers and organizers, and I was one of the participants on that workshop. So actually, I'm right, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but I'm totally in the back because I'm very tall, so I'm always in the back on all the pictures. And then Shrimada is right here. So basically, this workshop was organized for the true family, for the true children. And True Mother asked 40 second and third generation from different parts of the world to come as well. And from Europe, we were actually only 5 people. And I was very lucky that I could actually get selected to attend this workshop, which was for about 2 weeks. And anyway, Hawaii is already an amazing place. If you've never been in Hawaii, recommend you to go. It's really a different nature. And over there in that workshop, we basically saw True Mother twice. So I thought I will see True Mother all the time there, and then the True family is there. So I was feeling a lot of pressure before going, and I had a lot of concepts about the True family, thinking, oh, they're very rich, or I don't know, they're kind of, they're with True Mother, they have so much experience, they're so much more higher than me. But actually, when I arrived in this workshop, I couldn't even recognize who's a true child and who's just another Korean 2nd gen or 3rd gen, you know, like there was no distinguishing. Everyone was just a blessed child, you know, when we meet on workshops, just the same atmosphere. And but anyway, this workshop was very different from other workshops because I really realized, or I could really understand True Mother's heart, similar to what JeongHye was sharing when she said that, you know, True Mother even picked the clothes, right, for JeongHye, or Sunjin picked the clothes, and then True Mother was kind of complimenting. Well, on this workshop, True Mother designed it basically for us. So she kind of got our profiles, she knew who we were, and then she really picked the t-shirts, picked the collar. She was really behind to know. She even brought from Korea really good cooks, so we have the best food, and she was always asking, how are they doing, is everyone okay? There was even a little camera where True Mother could actually watch what's going on during this whole workshop. And especially right from the first day, True Mother asked that we all give our testimony, we introduce our family, and True Mother was not there physically, but there was this camera, and there was the True family, Sunjin, Injin, and other important people. And then we could share about our family, and True Mother was very, you know, concerned to know who are these people, from which family they're from. You know, I even remember I was only 15 at the time, but I even put a picture of my dog. And anyway, you know, just sharing that for True Mother. But what I want to share is really True Mother has this heart of concern for each one of us, and it's true. It's really, she cares. She wants to know. She wants to know who we are. And especially during this workshop, what we did is we didn't just have special lectures or something, but we did many things to understand True Parents' heart. So the whole goal of this workshop was to really inherit True Parents' heart and just really engrave it. So True Mother, on one of the first days, here you can see she was planting an avocado tree. So she wanted to show us how important it is to plant. And she was very concerned about climate change during this whole workshop. So we had actually many lectures about climate change and about how much we need to anyway care about our planet. So she also took us to, well, she didn't went there physically with us, but she in the program insisted that we also go to anyway, there's a farm, a fish farm in Hawaii that belongs to our movement. So we got a lecture there. Then we got a lecture about what happens if we don't take care of nature. Then another time, the picture at the bottom, you can see we went fishing as well. So always True Parents want us to inherit that relationship True Father had with fishing, right? When he could really feel the heart of God and to be united with nature. So actually this girl managed to fish this huge fish, which is really amazing. And she had a really deep experience feeling True Father's heart. So people had really deep experiences because we really could experience step by step what True Parents are going through. So we had also a lot of pilgrimage about, there's many holy grounds in Hawaii, many important places where True Parents did a lot of condition, a lot of chonsong. And we got a lot of testimonies there about all these chonsongs and what True Parents did and why they were there, why they came. So it was very like a precious time. But I felt, you know, I was only 15 and I was kind of, I felt I was too young and maybe I didn't deserve to be there. Maybe someone else should have been there at my spot. And the whole time I was feeling a little bit like, I don't know, okay, I can connect, but not fully. I cannot connect my heart, you know, fully to what is going on. And actually, only one of the last days, I managed to have a really, really deep experience with our True Parents. And you can see this is actually a family evening. And we didn't know True Mother would be coming. So we just had to do like a skit like you do on workshops. You know, family evenings, you always have a skit with your team. And we didn't know True Mother would come. So we just kind of prepared a skit. Our story was about this girl in the middle being tempted by Satan and then God trying to, you know, fight with Satan. So she comes back to him. So the whole story was about this girl being tempted, but by God always having faith that she will come back. And interestingly enough, True Mother came and I was actually playing God. And the one who was playing Satan was her granddaughter. So it was very, very interesting because anyway, in this picture, you can see actually God fighting with Satan. And even though in that moment I was kind of just acting my role and fighting and really, you know, kind of taking it more like a little bit like a game. But then I looked at True Mother, and even though True Mother had sunglasses, because we know she has medical issues with her eyes, so she's very sensitive to light. So even though she had sunglasses, I suddenly just froze on stage, and I felt her deep look towards me. And then when I looked, actually she had tears coming down. And even though it was one of the last days, I suddenly had a total switch of everything. Even though I had a lot of fun on this workshop, I suddenly realized, you know, this story we were playing is just something we invented, but it is really true. You know, people are shifting away, people are being tempted. And True Mother is very, very concerned for everyone, for every single one of us. And anyway, just seeing her cry over something or tear up over something so, anyway, about this story, it really touched me, even though I was only 15. And as I said, I couldn't really connect. Suddenly many things started to make sense, and I started to understand why True Mother invited me here, why True Mother wanted us to be there. And then, anyway, she also gave us many speeches. So, I mean, she gave us 2 speeches, and I had to reread them at least maybe 30 times after this workshop. And she really shared on this speech that she wants us to become this kind of pure water that can really purify this world, so we can really make this place a better place for everyone. And you know, I also realized in that moment that this is not just True Mother's dream or True Parents' dream, but this is also, we are their children, so this is also our responsibility. This is also my dream, you know. We need to share this heart with True Parents. So anyway, this experience, I think in the moment I still couldn't really understand what was going on. But anyway, throughout the later years, I also joined the STF program, where I could have more experiences with True Mother. So if you don't know, STF is a missionary program. So we actually had the opportunity to meet True Mother physically and sing a song for her in Korea. But actually, even though I had other opportunities, I never ever had again this kind of opportunity where I felt True Mother really looking deep into me and trying to say, you know, you need to understand my heart, you know. And I felt really kind of also inspired by what Uncle Armando said before, which was, if you want to be close to father or to mother, you need to work hard like them. You need to share their heart. You need to understand their heart. So for me, it was very also precious to hear testimonies from people. So actually, when I was in Korea in 2017, we also had the opportunity to meet Yonanim. That's Hyojinim's wife. And even though we met True Mother the day before, for me, the highlight was actually meeting Yonanim, because she shared so deeply about you know, True Mother's heart and True Mother's concern for us. And even though now I'm just kind of sharing my experience or what I felt with True Mother, in the end, you know, it's up to us to really internalize these stories. All these testimonies we are hearing, they're actually very, very deep. And they are real. These are real things. These are real stories. So I just want to really encourage you all on this workshop to really, or not this workshop, but this program, and especially today, to really internalize what you hear today. And maybe you didn't have so many experiences with True Parents, but you know, these stories are real. True Parents are still on earth. So, you know, by hearing stories, you can catch a little bit of the character of True Parents. So also, I had a really great experience meeting Hyunuk-san, who is the translator of True Mother. Even if it was just 5 minutes, it was recent, I really felt he shared, you know, True Mother is concerned for you, True Mother is concerned. And anyway, I just wanted to share that experience I had, and I hope all of you can really feel through these testimonies that, you know, True Parents are here, and they're part of you, even though they're just on a picture, maybe in your house right now, but they are alive in the stories and the memories of our members. So I know I'm out of time, so thank you so much, and passing on to Sonia.
Thank you, Vicky, for sharing your experiences. Now we're going to go to the fourth and the last talk of tonight, and it's going to be by Mike and Fumiko Balcomb, our regional president for Europe and the Middle East. And in the meantime, if you have any questions either for them or for Vicky, then please write those in the chat for the questions and comments, and we're going to be hearing more from them after. So please welcome Mike and Fumiko. Balcomb.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Good evening, everybody. Gosh, you must be tired already. I know I am. It's been a long day. It's been a good day, too, because it is Children's Day. And earlier today, we were down at the South London Peace Embassy. The members there had made such a great effort, hadn't they, honey?
Beautiful holy table.
To make a beautiful holy table, to prepare holy food, and really to celebrate together as the true children that we are. And I was asked to give a short talk before the food. And I picked up on some Hundake that I read this morning in the Chonsangyang. And in that Hundake, Father said, you know, True Children's Day is actually the most important holy day of all. Why? Because true children make Heavenly Parent the Heavenly Parent. We have 5 children, and my eldest daughter, Kalin, said to me one Father's Day, you know, Dad, I'm the one who made you a father. It's kind of presumptuous for a little girl, but it's true. And so each of us are the ones who make Heavenly Parent, and actually who make true parents. I know today's theme is true parents are my parents, and that's true. But also, don't you want to hear true parents saying, you are my children, you know, you are my real children, because it works both ways. So because it's late, we're going to be really short. Fumiko is going to share first. She's going to share a little experience she had with true parents, and then I'm going to share a couple of photos and the backstory behind them. I hope that's okay. That's what we have for you this evening. So I'll pass over to my better half.
Good evening, everybody. By listening, Vicky, how lucky many of you to have experience with true parents such an early age. I want to share about the true father wanted to give me something. It's about nearly 20 years ago. I was called for the fundraising team organized by Mr. and Mrs. Inose, who are guiding Japanese members in America. So 40 days Blessed Wives fundraising team was organized. So not like from home to go nearby, but leave children and husband behind and stay in New York and completely.
Leave our 5 children behind, right?
So yeah, already we have 5 children. And at that time, I had a strong prayer. One of my very close friends, sister, one day said to me that, because our children kind of close age, sometimes visiting each other, that she told me suddenly, Fumiko, I love Father so much. She repeated 2-3 times. Okay, thank you very much. Then I look at, reflected myself. Do I have such a deep relationship with Father? I said to myself, no, not like this sister. So before joined this 40 days Blessed Wives fundraising team, I really asked the Heavenly Parents, please let me have a deep experience with true parents through this fundraising. They actually, after a few days time, the Mr. and Mrs. Inose always prepare Hondake material. The wonderful speech was made me deeply cried how much Father loved Heavenly Parents. The incredible love I realized our Father has. Then I truly felt with that meeting actually Father in this front of me that I strongly felt closer to Father. Then after a few days, we had at the Chopin's coming, Father is speaking East Garden. So these leaders always prioritize the when two parents come to nearby. It's always everybody went to listen to father, even the middle of the fundraising the schedule. Then somehow Heavenly Parents used to father. The Heavenly Parents knew had such a deep experience. Then father talking to the members and actually talking to sisters that time. Those who has more than 5 plus children stand up. So we have 5 children stand up. Then quite many sisters were there, more than 5 children, some are 7, I remember. Then father said, oh, among you, those who has more than 3, the boy, they keep remaining stand up. So quite many sisters. They actually probably at that time 7 remained. So they come forward. So father wanted to give us some gift. So somehow, like Korean standard, that to have a boy is more important than having girls. I remember when Mrs. Wong came when I was serving Wong came. She said that time I was one child, a daughter, and the second one having another one. This was God. She said, "Oh, don't worry, you'll have a boy eventually." Something like that. I didn't worry at all. But seems like Korea is quite important to have boys. Anyway. The father wanted to give me something, some spiritual antenna was very high, I felt. And father gave us this, got a lot of money that time. The mother was presented each sisters. And I remember mother remembered one of the daughter-in-law was helping, assisting to mother. This daughter-in-law had more than 3 boys and altogether, I think that time 7 children. So to mother didn't forget to give it to daughter-in-law as well. The funny thing was one brother came forward. He has like 6 children, the 4 boys, 2 girls, something. This father figure came to the front and the father said, no, go back. Only sisters. They gave birth to more than 5 children. Somehow it was just some small experience, but I felt that the father knew somehow had a very, very deep experience with true father through fundraising, through also reading Hondake. And it was an unforgettable experience.
Yeah, actually, our whole family rejoiced that day because we got the sudden news that Fumiko had been given a prize directly by a true father. The kids were very excited, and I was very excited too. I'm going to share 2 pictures with you and a little bit of the backstory. So let's see. And we'll start with this one here. So this is a picture of me coming back from a fishing trip with True Father with a couple of other members. And as you can see, the sun is shining and everyone is happy. But that day actually started in a very miserable way because we were at 100K at East Garden and Father was not in a happy mood. I don't know exactly why, but some plan or some promise that had been made wasn't made. And somehow 3 of us were called to breakfast. We were the CART members at that time. So it was a long time ago, and Father scolded us from the beginning of the what did we have first? The beginning of the fruit to the end of the toast, let's say. And he was pounding on the table, and he was kind of pointing out what miserable failures we were, and Americans were in particular. So anyway, we took it in. We knew that we hadn't done very well, really, and when it was over, Father said, well, you better get back to work. And so, we kind of slunk out of the room and We were about to go back to New York, but we thought, well, probably Father will leave soon to go fishing. At least we should greet him as he leaves, to show that we're not running away. And indeed, Father came out to go fishing, and his car sort of rolled by, and we bowed, the way you do to true parents' car. And after Father had gone about 5 meters past us, the car stopped, and it kind of rolled back slowly. And Father rolled down the window and said, well, you're still here. We might as well go fishing. Jump in. So we all jumped into Father's car, and we went fishing. We didn't catch much that day. You can see by the size of that striped bass, it wasn't a great day of fishing. And on the way back, it started to rain really hard. It was like a sudden squall. And Father was sitting at the back of the boat, meditating and praying. And, we were kind of sitting not so close because you felt a bit, what can you do? But the captain turned to me and said, hey, look, you can see Father's getting wet there. The spray and the rain is hitting him. If you sit right next to him and touch his shoulder, then your body will protect him from the rain. I thought, okay, I can do that. So I went and I sat right next to Father, and I sort of scrunched myself up against him like this. And indeed, I could feel the rain hitting me on my raincoat, but I knew that Father was keeping dry and warm because of me. And he didn't say anything. But when we got off, he said, let's take the photo together. And you can see maybe from Father's smile, from my smile, it was really a happy memory. I can't do much for Father. Father is the Messiah, the Savior. I'm just a regular member, but I can keep him dry. And, of course, that's a physical experience, but I often feel the same way today. There are many storms around true parents, true mother, so many problems besetting our church. There's not much I can do about it. Maybe now I'm the regional president, but still, that's not a very important role in the big providence of God. But I can keep true parents dry if I'll get really close to them, and I won't run away when the rain and the cold come. One other photograph and then a final bit of homework for you. So this is a picture from a couple of years ago. It was in the beginning of my big weight loss year. In 2018, I went with True Mother to a number of rallies of hope in Brazil, in Johannesburg, in Nepal. And, it wasn't a very healthy lifestyle. And at the end of it, I was really unwell. And, True Mother, in her gentle way, I think it was in Nepal or when we got back to Korea, she said, you really have to take care of your health. And many people have told me that. Fumiko has told me that. My daughters have told me that. My sisters have told me that. My own mother has told me that. And I ignored them all, as men tend to do. But for this time, I took it seriously. And 6 months later, I came back to Korea. I'd lost, 20, 25 kilos. And True Mother was so happy to see me and to see that I'd made the effort. So she wanted to kind of, touch me and pinch me all over to make sure there was no faking. It was the real deal. And that I really had kind of listened to her and made that effort to, to do what she said. It's a simple thing, but I think it's one of the biggest I've seen her smiling. And, she was so happy just because, as a mother, she'd given me some advice and I'd actually listened, which is so rare, really, isn't it? I mean, those of, you may remember your parents gave you a lot of advice and most of the time you don't listen. But when you do, it's such a joyful moment for the parents. So back to this thing, it's True Children's Day today, and we're all trying to be the true children of God. We're not world leaders. We have a new prime minister in Britain today. He's only 42 years old, 24 years younger than me. I'm not the prime minister. I'm not going to be the prime minister. But I do know true parents. I do know who they are. I do know the difficult course that they've been through. I know that right now they must be suffering enormously from both internal, inside the movement attacks, outside the movement attacks. You could say, you know, the rain is coming hard. But what I can do is try my best to keep true parents dry and to keep them protected, simply by putting myself in the gap between those problems and the difficulties that we all face. And of course, we can do that for each other. You know, we can all keep each other warm and dry by sticking together. Let's be honest, there are those who have no hesitation in criticizing True Mother for this or that. And in the past, there were plenty of people who criticized True Father. But if you think about it, if someone is your parents, your mom or your dad, even if they were to make a mistake, or even if they were to do something which later on wasn't the best plan, and who among us doesn't do that? If someone's your mom or dad, it doesn't matter. You try to support them, you try your best to make sure it works out, and you have faith that if God sees a better way, he'll make it known. So we are in a time of storms and trials, I won't lie to you. This morning we had a conference call, we heard updates from Japan. It seems there's about 100 negative articles every day. But True Mother said, you know, I don't worry. In the long run, truth and justice will prevail. And if we're wise and if we learn from our troubles, things are going to get better. But she's counting on us, all of us, to help keep dry. She needs encouragement too. And one thing we heard this morning is Mother's really eager to hear our reports and letters. So I think I gave you this homework last time, but I don't think you did it yet. All of you on this course should introduce yourself to True Mother. Send a nice picture of you, your spouse, in your case, Vicky and Javier, and introduce yourself to Mother. You know, she's not going to know you if you don't make the effort. And even if you knew her in the past, or you can still introduce yourself again, who you are, what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish in life. Now, you may or may not get a response. But this morning, Wanju, True Mother's assistant, made it very clear. Every morning, Mother is doing nothing but listening to letters, and after each one, she prays for that person, for the country they're from. So in a spiritual sense as well, by our effort to have this relationship, we can encourage God, we can encourage True Parents, and we can encourage each other. I think I've stuck to my time, so I will pass back to Sonia.
Thank you so much, Mike and Fumiko-san, for sharing your experiences. Also, I'm sure you have many more things to share, so it's, we appreciate that you picked out the ones that you felt were most precious. Okay, so we're going to have question and answer, and so we're going to have also Vicky here as well. Sorry, yes, Vicky. So if we can just have, or if you still have any questions or comments, please feel free to keep writing them. So our first question is, how do you suggest we can deepen our relationship with True Parents if we don't have the chance to experience them in person? So that's for either of you who wants to go first.
Well, I just answered that question in a way. We have to take initiative. And one thing you can do, definitely, is communicate. You can write to True Mother, send her posters, photographs, even gifts. You can be absolutely certain she will receive them. And her spiritual antenna, her prayer will reach towards you, and you will have experiences, either spiritual or maybe out of nowhere will come a real experience. You know, I don't think it's true that any of us don't have the chance. As long as Mother is alive, we have a chance. Next year, she's inviting everyone to come to Korea for the opening of the new chapel, the Temple of God. If you want to be there, there's nothing stopping you, apart from time and money, of course, but you can be there. It's open invitation. It's not like the past where you had to have your leader tell you you could go somewhere. So have hope. What do you think, Vicky?
I agree. I think, anyway, as elder Japanese leaders used to tell my dad all the time, money is in the bank, right? So you can always make more money to buy a ticket. But also, I think, anyway, we have so many tools nowadays. You know, you don't need to experience them in person. Actually, just being informed of what's going on with your mother, simply by watching the weekly Hyojong news that comes from Korea. I mean, they tell you what your mother is doing, which speech, who she met, what's the providence, what is her concern. So you can really, anyway, go deeper into her heart by just using the tools we already have. Also, there's many great books from testimonies about our brothers and sisters, even one about True Mother's Bodyguard. So he shares really deeply about her heart. So read these books, you know, get closer through these testimonies and these tools we already have.
Thanks to both of you. Next question is for Vicky. You mentioned being in Hawaii and that true children and grandchildren also being there. Did any of the true children or perhaps also grandchildren share experiences of what it was like to have true father and true mother as their actual father and mother or grandparents?
Yes, they did. I mean, anyway, true family, even though we can imagine they're all the time with true parents, well, of course they are not all the time with them. They're really not as much with them as we might be with our own grandparents. And I was very lucky to grow up with my grandmother living in the same house, but I especially talked with Shinyanim Moon. This is the daughter of Hyojinim. Anyway, they really have a deep respect towards true mother, and at least from what I've heard, they see her as a grandmother, but they also see her as someone way deeper than that. So anyway, it is a little bit complicated. I cannot answer this question on them, but they did share anyway experiences with them. They shared about especially with true mother, because many of them were younger. But anyway, there's nothing I can share more. But anyway, they, especially now, I think if we look at the two grandchildren, I've just talked with the wife of anyway, the second son of Hyojinim. So he just got a baby recently, and his wife was actually in Hawaii, and she was one of my closest friends in Hawaii there. So she's just sharing how true mother is, you know, really concerned about the baby that was just born, and really she wants to see the baby as much as possible, spend time, you know that the mother is okay, know that the baby is okay. So anyway, they mostly shared how much true mother loves us and how much true mother wants to have a relationship with us as well. Yeah.
Thanks for that. Next is for Mike and Fumiko-san. What motivates you to be leaders despite all the difficulties?
What motivates me? What motivates you?
This is my question to you then.
Oh, yes.
Because I have been hoping that my husband doesn't become leader for the many years. The Heavenly Parents didn't listen to me.
Yeah. I mean, I guess fundamentally it's because I really do feel mother is my mother, father is my father, and I'd like to help them out as much as I could. And, you know, father himself in his autobiography, he asked that question, why did God choose me? You know, I wasn't particularly special. I was really just a stubborn young boy, but God saw something in me that he could use. And so the other thing father said is he knew that if he didn't do it, if he ever gave up or stopped, God would have to find someone else to come along and to do it. And that person would have to not only do what's their own mission, but also, you know, fulfill what father didn't do. So I guess I feel, you know, and this is not a negative thing, I don't want to give someone else the burden. I would like, as long as I'm able to try to bring people closer to mother, I know she appreciates it. And if that can be my legacy, that's good. And, you know, the day will come, of course, when I won't be the regional president anymore. Could be very soon. But that's okay, because, you know, that has nothing to do with my position as mother's son. You know, that's completely independent of any external position. 5 children all live in Los Angeles. Actually, on a personal level, I'd quite like to go live in California. But I won't do that as long as it seems like True Mother wants us to be here.
Thanks, interesting to hear that. And a similar question to Vicky. Have you reflected more on why you were chosen to be God? I believe that was for the skit.
Okay, fun fact. There was a lot of Korean and Japanese brothers and sisters on this workshop, and my hair was slightly more wavy, so they just thought I looked like Jesus, just because I was one of the only white person with light hair. So that's why I was chosen to be God, to be really honest. No, but I don't think it made so much a difference if I would be God or any kind of skid. The whole point, I think I needed that realization, even though I couldn't realize, I needed that experience to really realize a lot of things in my life. So I think it didn't really matter if I would have been God or not. It's just this experience of really having this heart-to-heart connection with your mother, something that helps me even today. This kind of, anyway, I just felt this is what God wanted me to experience, not necessarily to be God himself. That sounds very confusing.
When I saw that question in the chat, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm really behind the providence. Vicky's chosen to be God, and I didn't know. I didn't know, you know. Maybe God has decided the next regional president, just like that. So
Based on the hair.
Based on the hair. Well, Abby's got some pretty impressive hair going on there as well.
Okay, next question, Dr. Balcomb. What is it like to be in True Father's car? Did he talk? Was he in prayer? Was he relaxed?
I haven't been in True Father's car that many times. I've been in his boat many times. So in his boat, usually Father is in a sort of state of absolute meditation. You'd think he was sleeping, but the moment a fish twitched on his line, he'd be immediately alert and pulling it in. In the car, you might think Father was sleeping, but he's not. And suddenly, out of nowhere, he'd ask kind of a really fundamental question. Sometimes he would say, why are we going so slow? We'd already be going the maximum speed limit. But Father was very impatient. He wanted to go quicker, sooner, faster. And once or twice, Father said, I'm hungry. We should stop at McDonald's. You know, so very kind of simple things in a way. I mean, there are so many times when, you know, I realize, yes, of course, Father is who he is, but he's also a normal guy, you know, who likes the same kind of things I like, actually. Father liked to play pool. He liked to watch sports. You know, when he was in a car, he liked to go quickly. He's just completely normal, nothing unusual at all. I hope that's not disappointing, but normal guy.
Okay, thank you so much to both of you for sharing these insights. That's been really great. So next we're going to have a team meeting for 25 minutes to extend it a bit, to give a bit more time to share about the different experiences that you had today, about your thoughts. You can feel free to follow the discussion questions, or if you have other thoughts in mind or reflections, then feel free to share about those as well. So you have here 3 questions about which talk you connected to the most and why, if you have similar or different experiences, and what you could learn from today's testimony. So yeah, we're going to meet back here in 25 minutes, and enjoy your team meetings.
Meeting today.
Welcome back, everyone, from your team meetings. I hope you were able to have a little bit more time to share this time and to listen, everyone, because part of the benefit of doing this kind of interactive format is also because we can learn from others and others' insights and experiences. So yeah, also trying to make this as un-offline-ish as possible. Okay, so we're going to have another homework again, and this is, as Mike already mentioned, actually writing a letter to True Mother. So those letters are going to be translated into Korean, so you can feel free to write what you want. They're going to be translated you might have heard some different experiences today in relationships of people with two parents that you might not relate to yourself. Maybe you feel like your relationship isn't the same as others. So if that's your case, don't worry about it. You don't have to write a letter with empty waffle that you don't really relate to yourself. Just be sincere and take it as a challenge. Write something that you feel, that you feel you would like to write to a parent or an elder that you respect. So yeah, myself, I sometimes followed this Mike's homework that he gave previously, and I wrote something that I was kind of passionate about and kind of more like of an activist letter, but I felt like that's something that I, wanted to say to Mother. So whatever you want to say, just feel free and, write a letter that looks like you. Then also there is daily JeongHye every morning. So it is tomorrow morning, every morning. We're going to have it at 6:30 a.m. Check your own time zone if you're in a different time zone. These meetings are actually quite good in being an opportunity for sharing. So so that can be nice also to have some more time to talk and to share insights. So yeah, please be there tomorrow morning and other mornings as well. Of course, you can also do JeongHye by yourself, but these are nice opportunities to share as well. So you can see here in the chat is a link where you can drop your letter in the Google folder for translation. Next session is going to be this Friday on a life of faith and substance. So after discussing God and two parents, we're going to move on to a personal life of faith and substance. So look forward to seeing you all there. And yeah, just before you go, so in case you haven't done any of the interviews, please follow the link, which is in the chat as well, and book your time. So apologies, there seems to have actually been the link that was sent around last time didn't seem to work. So please just click the link, which is now in the chat, which should work, and put your time there as well, the interview slot, and the staff is going to get back to you and confirm the time with you. The times there are also in Central European time, so just make sure to translate that to your own time slot. Okay, so we've come to the end again tonight, and thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that this has been a useful session to you for you and your spiritual life, and that at least you get something to think about or pray about, yeah, wherever you're coming from. So yeah, have a nice evening, everyone, and see you on Friday. Good night.